Are you tired of all the dating games, rules, and societal norms that make falling in love confusing and stressful?
Then join us as we ditch the script and empower you to establish healthy, conscious relationships.
This weekly podcast breaks down popular dating reality television and educates you on healthy versus toxic dating habits.
I'm Brianna, a licensed therapist.
And I'm Alex, a trauma-informed and certified narcissist recovery coach.
Are you ready to ditch the script?
Oh my God.
I love it.
Jax is chiming in on the swimming arms. He's all about it.
I did you ever learn how to swim like formally, or did you learn on your own?
A little bit of both, but let me tell you, the formal training was like, I remember those little floaty kickboards, and they put you on them, and that was like the extent of my memory of swim class.
Well, you're a pretty good swimmer considering like low swim education.
I think I'm just naturally a mermaid, from another life. And so I get in there and I have my own swimming style. It's very unique. It's very fish-like.
That's so true. I've seen it. I've had the privilege to see it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I sparkle when I swim.
You do. No, you do. It's like a.
I'm more like flail.
No, but like with like dancer precision. Do you think?
Okay, maybe. I don't know. I honestly don't think I'm that great of a swimmer. I feel like I had a near-death experience, a near-life experience.
A near-life experience. Almost gave me life.
In the ocean with Sam, actually. Like, I remember at this time I was still really religious, and I remember being in the ocean, and basically, okay, here's the Cliff Notes version of this story.
Yeah.
We were at this really dope beach in Laguna called Table Rock Beach. Shout out to all my homies who go to Table Rock because it's the most pretty, gorgeous, amazing beach ever. But it's like a cove, so there's these large rocks on either side. And so when the waves come in, they're really big. And me, despite living in Florida, where, by the way, we get no waves, I didn't understand how, the cadence of the ocean with the swells and the wave sets works. I didn't know that. So Sam, who's like a seal innately, she's, in there, living her best life, flopping around. I'm like, I'm going to come swim too. So I go out and I get stuck, not far enough out to, be over the wave, but not far enough in to get out. And so I just kept getting barreled over and over again. And I remember thinking as I was underwater holding my breath, swim to the top, take as big of a breath as you can because you don't know when you're going to be able to breathe again.
Right.
I remember thinking this. Yeah. And then I did that. And as I came up and breathed, I remember looking up at the sky for a hot second being like, well, if I die right now, I lived a pretty good life. I came to terms, and then I managed to scream at Sam, get the lifeguard. What ended up happening is Sam and our other friend that was with us came and dragged my ass back in, and we were fine. And my top was off, boob out.
Listen, if allowing a nip slip is the consequence of surviving, we'll allow it.
We're okay
and also,
with it.
You're welcome. You're welcome for all who got to see.
It was just Sam. She just was like, Keever, your nips out.
You're like, I am just grateful to still be living. That sounds so scary.
It was scary. We can laugh about it now. Yeah. There's also video footage of this day. It became a running joke between the three of us because it was such an eventful day. Yeah. So good times. Live to tell the story. But the ocean tried to take my ass.
And you know what?
Your mermaid self belongs down here with us.
That's right. Yeah. They were like, actually, we're just trying to absorb you because you are with us. You're like, I would actually really love to just live and be in water, on my own terms, if that would be okay.
Yeah. Relaxed seas with clear crystal blue water. Thank you.
Yeah.
And, so moral of the story, I'm not a great swimmer. Sorry.
Well, no, you are a good swimmer. You just I think it's the waves. It's being unfamiliar with current like that.
I'm familiar now, bitch.
Yeah, right. The waves in Florida are shallow and kind of calm. And even when they swell up, It's nothing like California coast.
Girl. Yeah.
So
it was
crazy.
a hard lesson to learn. So how did we talk about swimming again?
Because you and I were doing like a silent, we were doing like a silent swim.
How did we get here?
Yeah. How did we get here?
Cool.
I'd like to address the elephant in the room, of which I'm wearing like eye patches, eye thingies.
I didn't even think a thing about it. I was like, I kind of want some. Forgot that is an elephant in the room.
Yeah. I'm doing wellness right now.
I love it. You do your wellness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you
do anything wild last night, or is this purely just a Sunday AM? I'm taking care of me.
No,
self-care?
It's like emotional recovery.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Like, just been having some really good conversations lately, and it's and it's included, maybe it has something to do with like the new moon, but it's included a lot of emotional digging and in those moments when you're like meeting yourself, and maybe not in a place where you're like, maybe typically you like to avoid being in that place where you meet yourself because it's like not filled with pride. Maybe there's like a dash of shame.
Yeah.
But you go there because you know you can handle it. And so you do. And then you like dig up some important stuff, and then you come away from it and you're like, cool, that was important. I'm moving away from that now. But now I have an emotional hangover.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
I say emotionally hungover all the time. It's such a good, because it's relatable, and it is a thing. Yeah. It is a thing.
Yeah.
Your body is experiencing a lot. Yeah. So good. Self-care. Take care of yourself. Rest. Play. Do something for the sake of doing something with no productivity in mind.
Yeah. Wear a couple eye patches when you're recording with your podcast with your best friend. Like, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're doing wellness.
Doing it. I love it. I have those gold ones. They're nice.
They're nice. And do you ever keep them in the fridge?
Oh, no, but I will now.
Yeah.
I will now, bitch. That's brilliant.
I can't take credit for the idea. It's on the package. They say.
Alex doesn't read those things.
Yeah. Why would you? It says
directions
for a different experience. Throw them on, like, you want to put them on like the door, like on the door.
I have space there.
Yeah. So they don't get like crystally, and then pop up like, wow, it's like caffeine for the face.
I love it. It's
like
caffeine for the face.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Okay, I'm going to do that. I have my face roller in my fridge, but I've never put my eye patches. I'm going to do that. That's fun.
I guess 2023 only refrigerated like skincare.
Eye masks. Done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also want to get into gua sha.
Ooh.
I just think it looks so yummy, but I want someone to do it to me. I don't want to have to do the work of it. Like, I just want to pay someone to like massage my face.
Yeah. Maybe that's a really good, like, I can't even believe your birthday is going to like come up around the corner. And
it feels like we were in Vegas like a month ago, maybe 3 months ago. Like,
the way in which so much has happened.
2022 was a year for me, but like a great year. I loved it. I loved 2022.
Me too.
And all that it brought.
Me too.
It was a good year.
Yeah.
And now this year's going to be even better. Starting with refrigerated skincare.
Refrigerated skincare only.
Yeah.
That's right.
I've like, March is coming, baby. Oh my God. Fast. What am I going to do?
Well, you're going to
come to Florida.
You're going to come to Florida.
Or go to Mexico.
We're going to do something. We're going to do something. And maybe get like look into gouaching.
Yeah.
And
pay someone to gua sha my face.
Pay someone to gua sha your face, and pay someone to also teach you how to gua sha your face before you leave that appointment.
Cool. I also want my feet done.
Get those feet touched.
Who are we kidding? I'm going to end up at a spa all day getting the works.
I would love to do that with you. Let's do that.
Okay. I'll come to Florida. We'll go to Boca Resort Spa and be really bougie.
There's a couple bougie ones down here, and they're like fabulous. I'll sponsor you.
You'll sponsor me.
Yeah.
You don't need to sponsor me.
Oh, it's a birthday.
Oh my gosh, let's do it. It'll be fun. Okay. We'll sidebar on that for sure.
Yeah. Okay. 2022 was also a good year for me. I dated so many people.
I want to hear about this.
It was like a bus, like 15 minutes.
Do you have like a ranking in your head of like, this was a great date, this was a shit date, that was a story, this was mediocre? Mediocre.
No, the only rankings that come to mind is like relationships that I engaged in that were really good for me and ones that weren't good for me, but they taught me a lot. So I only have rankings of like what I've learned about myself since dating. Like, okay, the other thing that I've learned about dating in South Florida is like a white, like sort of straight, like woman in down here is like, is dating men is so easy down here. It's like very easy.
Love it.
Meeting men is easy.
Love it.
Making friends is challenging, but we're working on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with dating a lot of men, I've learned a lot about myself and I feel pretty good about that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. I've learned a little bit more about what I want. I've learned a little bit more about how I want to be treated, but also I learned a lot of it about how to manage my own anxiety while dating.
That's huge though.
Yeah.
That's a huge win because it's not easy.
No. Not for me.
Not for many.
Yeah.
Dating can be like low key terrifying because of all of the things that we talk about on here all the time. Like, am I good? Is this the right match for me? What happens if I'm into them and they reject me? There's so many so dealing with your anxiety when you're dating, it's a vibe.
Yeah. I think what also is helpful about that, and I bring it up to like share this with others, is like, it helps you feel a little bit more in control because when we get anxious about dating, we're frustrated with dating. It so much feels like, well, it's them, it's men, it's the dating culture, it's the climate, it's the dating apps, it's the dates, it's whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of that is true. I don't want to discredit that, certainly. And how it all like kind of makes me feel and what I do with all of those feelings, like that's in my corner. So, managing my anxiety of what it feels like to not be reached out to by a person that I thought we were vibing. It's like, that's on me to deal with. What it feels like to like have loaded an important conversation in your head and knowing it's not really the right time to have it, like taking a pause, taking a beat. I remember at the end of 2021 last year, I was seeing someone, we like talked about it on the podcast where it was like a thing that had ended. Yeah. A thing that had ended that I was upset about. And I didn't know if I was like allowed to be upset about it because it wasn't like a full blown relationship. First of all, I've changed my idea on how to categorize these things. Like they're relationships.
Okay. Yeah. They're connections.
If we're talking and we're making dates and we're spending time together and this goes on for weeks and weeks and weeks, I don't care that we didn't have like an exclusive chat. We were dating, we were seeing each other, and therefore like permission to mourn.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. It's a thing.
It's a thing.
I think I'm kind of, can I share a little story that's related to this, except not boys, friendships?
Yeah.
So the other night I met this really dope couple. And if I'm being honest, they're super cute, two really cute chicks, like two super cute chicks, but awesome. We were out line dancing and I made friends with them and they were like hockey fans. And I was like, I'm a hockey fan, play video games. I play video games. We line dance. I line dance. Oh my God. I was like, soulmate friendships. That's what I said. I was like, you guys are like soulmate friends. Can I get your number? Yeah. So I exchanged numbers with one of the girls. Her name's V. Super sick tattoo right here of like a cute little moon.
Love that.
Yeah. Her and her wife be super cute. And so we're all like, I mentioned about the next upcoming hockey game I'm planning on going to out there. And she was like, yeah, we're planning on going to that one too. I was like, cool, I'll hit you up and we'll like, rally at the stadium. Like, I'll see you there, this little friend hang. Yeah. And so then I left and the next day I was like, oh my God, what if she gave me a fake number? Like I had social anxiety. I was like, what if they give me a fake number? What if they didn't like me? What if I go to the hockey game and I text them and they don't text me back? All of these thoughts came up and I started chuckling because I'm like, same dating thoughts, but with friends.
With friends.
Friend connections.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the potential to be rejected, the potential, like
so relevant.
It was just so, and it was so funny. Like it was one of those things where when I become aware of these thoughts that I'm having and I'm like, oh my God, that's so cute. My inner child's all like, do they like me? Like, do they really want to be friends with me? And I'm like, girl, you're a vibe. Of course they do. And like, but I had to take that time to like sit with her. Even around this, like, again, even though it's technically not dating, but it's the same wounds that tend to show up in all these little areas. So it was like, it was really funny because I hadn't felt that in a long time. Yeah. And so it gave me the opportunity to like be aware of how, in other ways, how it shows up. You know what I mean?
Did it surprise you that it came up?
It did surprise me.
Yeah.
It did surprise me.
Yeah. It feels like I only thought that this was reserved for dating relationships. And then what we come to realize is that it's any relationships because it's attachment. It's our attachment styles. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was like a great opportunity for me to work on that in this way. You know, it wasn't anything that was like off the wall, but it definitely was like, I liked them. I enjoyed hanging out with them. I would like to see them again. They're cool people.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of similar interests. And so I was like, and I won't, like we just said, making friendships as adults is so challenging.
Yeah.
One, because we're busy. And so it's like, I'll schedule you in 2 months from now. Especially with me, I feel like that so hard.
Yeah, you work a lot.
And a lot.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I just was like, I lost my train of thought right now.
Well, I wanted to ask you, like, what ended up happening?
Working, scheduling.
No. Did you text them? Did they text you back?
No. I sat with it and I was like, I will reach out to them the day before the game. Like we planned,
okay, cool.
You know,
Great.
But I wasn't going to allow my anxiety to be like,
to dominate.
Text her and be like, hey, we already exchanged. I'm going to trust that the number is real. I'm going to trust that these people want to be friends with me as much as I want to be friends with them. And I'll see them in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
You know?
Fuck yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I can't control them. I can only control me. And so I chose to sit with that and process and do my thing. And then, you know, I know that, let's say worst case scenario, the hockey game comes around and they leave me on red, if you will, right?
Yeah, right.
They ignore me. I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
I have other friends that I'm going with too.
Right.
So it's like, it really was like a muscle building of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you, dude.
Jax, get out of the garbage.
Jax, chill yourself, man. Chill yourself.
We're in a hotel. So
I'm so proud of you. That's such a good example of like how to navigate that anxiety. I did not do that a year ago when I was talking to this guy. Instead, I mean, I noticed that I was anxious and I didn't reach out, but it was like by the time that he had answered me again, which like he was playing games and it wasn't cool. And it was like, it wasn't a good match. It wasn't a thing. But by the time I would hear from him again, I had a different energy about me already because I was already kind of pissed off. I was already kind of annoyed. So by the next time that we saw each other, granted, I had every right to be like, yo, like, you have left me hanging between these text messages, between these discussions of dates and plans. Like, I cannot just be sitting around waiting for you to like see what the fuck is up. Like too old. And also my time is too precious. But by the time like I would see him again, I was already sort of like revved up and then I'd try to have a conversation about it. He just wasn't on the wave that I was on.
No.
Anyway, when that ended, and then I got Tucker and I got the dog and all of my downtime was occupied by this little fucking pain in the ass. Like, and I had so much going on to like navigate his needs and then fit my needs in around it.
Yeah.
I was like, I had no time to worry about someone who wasn't texting me. So I was like, what the hell was I worried about? I was bugging out.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And I know where my answer. It's about playing games.
Yeah. Okay.
Like what you were dealing with this person. Because I know you and I talked about it a lot. Do you think people play games without knowing they're playing games?
Yeah. Wait. Okay. I answered that really fast because my gut says yes, but I completely
agree.
Okay. Yeah. I think that, well, the first thing that comes to mind is that I think that a lot of us have been raised with like these dating rules. And I think that by trying to abide
ditch
by
the dating rules.
Yeah, ditch the fucking dating rules, y'all.
That's why we made this podcast.
Yeah.
Ditch them.
I just even like being like trying to subscribe to dating rules makes you automatically playing games and not being authentic. Like, do the dating rules kind of help you try to not do too much? Yeah, maybe, but like there's still games. It's still games. It's still like a bait and catch.
Yeah. So the one that I see the most is like waiting X amount of time to respond to a text. Like I can't seem too available. And I'm like, text them back when you text them, because let's be real, when we all get into a relationship, don't we end up just texting back when we can text back?
Yes.
So it's like, why? We purposefully stoke anxiety in the other person to create the spark. And it's like, why? Like it's so toxic. Yeah. You know, and and the reason I wanted to bring this up is like, you know, people can be toxic without maliciously and intentionally desiring to be toxic, but they fall prey to these societal norms that we've created for some reason. Like, why is that a thing? Like, where did that come from? You know? Well, it's so weird. Back in the day, like when we didn't have cell phones and you had a landline, like a single landline, you would have to coordinate. I'm going to call you at this time on this day, and you're sitting by the phone and you called. And if you didn't, it was a big deal. Yeah. Right. So it's like, I just don't understand now that we are so accessible. You know, I understand wanting to set boundaries with, let's not be in touch all the always time on our phone. Yeah. But there's a difference between I'm going to choose to unplug and I'm choosing to not text this specific person back, but live my life. Like, it's just, well, it's about finding a balance, because we do have the ability to be in touch at all of the time, that we make this assumption that just because we like each other, I only know that they like me if they're reaching out to me constantly. Right. But it's like, people cannot sustain that. We should not expect that of ourselves or from other people. So like, yes, allowing for space and distance. And I even think about what it feels like to be in the very early stages of dating someone where you really don't even know what's going to come of your relationship. And you're still just like planning a couple of dates. Being able, like, I value not talking all of the time so that we can have things to talk about when we actually see each other in person for the designated date. However, I don't want to do that in this aloof way where they say something and I'm just like, okay, this is when I drop off and I'm going to leave it to be a mystery. Like, no, that's actually when I'll be clear and be like, okay, I'm going to be working all day. I'll catch up with you later. And at night, it's like, okay, I'm going to go to sleep. Talk to you later. You know what I mean? That clarity can allow for everyone to feel not so anxious, which if people value not feeling anxious, actually a real sparks can develop, as opposed to just being attracted to the adrenaline of the anxiety, like, dysregulated nervous system. Yeah. So ridiculous. Yeah. I'm over it. Can you tell? I have such a toot about it. I'm here for it. Like, bring your toot to the pod. I'm just like, it's not a thing. Like, we make ourselves nuts, and then we wonder why everyone's on Xanax nowadays. It's like, we're doing it to ourselves, bros. Like, Period. Yeah. Okay. So just so that you guys know, because you're listening to us go all over the place, we have one more week till we start covering Bachelor. So Brie and I are just going to kind of riff, chit chat about whatever the hell comes up in our minds. But we do have some Zach Bachelor Nation things to discuss, as far as like, who the hell is this guy? What do we know about him? And stuff like that. So just cluing you in. Yeah. This is the pregame, if you will. We're pre-gaming. We should do a fun, like, beer pong type, or maybe never have I ever type drinking game, but theme for this episode. Okay. Like where we play Never Have I Ever. But I was trying to be kitschy and make it with topics about this thing. It's too late. We can't plan it. Can we plan it? Can we do it right now? Let's do it.
Never
put a finger down. Never have I ever skipped a Bachelorette season, and except that's a lie because I did, and I totally missed Zach's situation.
Yeah. So Alex did miss I think you missed the beginning of the Gabby and Rachel season. Did you catch the end of it?
I came in when Logan from BIP,
left.
of Logan and Kate, left. That's where I started. I can't remember if Zach left before or after.
Okay, so I'll fill you in. So Zach
fill me in.
was on Team Rachel,
Team Rachel.
Okay. Yeah, relatively from the start. And Zach, like Rachel's number one was very clearly Tino from the jump, and Zach was kind of like the underdog number two.
Gotcha.
I think that like the affection that America had for him is that he was really kind, very sweet, clearly liked her a lot. The way that I think about Zach, and honestly, every time I go to say his name, I almost forget that his name is Zach and I want to call him Scott. And I just want to note that he's not very rememberable for me. Ooh, sorry.
That's okay. No, it's not everyone's for everybody. That's what makes us a melting pot of people.
Yeah. Well said.
God, I want to go to melting pot. I'm hungry now. Jesus. Next, keep going.
Okay. So this is also a big complaint of the general buzz building up to Zach's Bachelor season is that like people don't really care about him. If they don't care for him, it's because they don't really care about him. There's really nothing negative about him. He's kind of like, he's vanilla. It's kind of like a wafer cookie, like tastes good, but you got to kind of add some stuff.
Like a wafer cookie.
Yeah. You got to kind of add some stuff to make it interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The way that I relate to it, the way that I relate to the idea of him is the way in which people are like, this is the person that I should date because he's nice and he's family oriented and he's thoughtful. But I just don't feel it. Vibe.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm interested to see if he meets anyone that he clicks with. I'm curious to know, like, if he's vanilla, because, like I said, I barely, like, I don't really know much about this guy. I'm wondering, like, do you think he's going to fall for someone who has a louder personality, or do you think he's going to go for someone that matches his personality?
I think he's going to, that's such a good question. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it could be like a really complimentary relationship if he's like the grounded, quiet one and then dates a spaz like me, you know, someone who's like, like fun and wild and like playful.
Like quirky. Yeah.
Right. Quirky. Or I love that. I'm so quirky.
You are quirky in like the best way.
Or it could be, you know, mellow, like two mellow folks together living their life in a very grounded, present, mellow way. Doing the things.
I had to hold my judgment because my immediate thought was like, wow, that sounds so boring. But also, might not
but
be.
It works for some people.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah. Like I've always, okay, the reason this comes up is because I'm a quirky girl who usually dates quirky guys who are very similar in my dynamic. But this go around, I have found myself more attracted to people who are calmer and chill and grounded and just like no nonsense. And I'm okay being the life of the party. Yeah. If they're okay with me being the life of the party.
As they should
Which,
be.
by the way, is like my life of the party is let's have a dance in our kitchen. Like I don't go out. Party.
No. You're not like I'm going to be the belle of the ball. But you're like, if we're hanging out at home, you bet your ass I'm going to make it fucking interesting.
Yeah. Like I like to have fun.
Yeah.
You know?
And you are fun.
Thanks. So yesterday I hung out with Sam. If you guys, I'm sure I've talked about Sam on this podcast before.
We love Sam.
She's my best friend from high school. And I asked her, I was like, did you meet Bree? And she was like, I feel like we did, but it was so quick. And I'm like, we all need to get back together.
I would love that.
Because you guys, it would just
You know what we'll do? You know what we'll do? I need to plan a visit to go see Jamie in Orange County in 2023. And what we'll do is we should do that then.
Yeah, I'll come out. I can stay with Sam in Dana Point,
and we'll do that
with Jax. So, okay,
fucking
cool.
great.
We're just scheduling our lives. But it was so funny because yesterday Sam and I were talking, we're hanging out. Like, I think she put New Girl on or something. And I've never seen New Girl.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So I started asking, I'm like, what are the shows you watch? Like, what are and we are so different.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
This is where Sam and I are so different.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there just chit chatting, and she's like, I always knew you were a nerd because, like, growing up, I don't think Boca High is going to give a shit about this, but like, she would cheat off my Scantron. I'd fill out the thing, and I'd be like, and like she would look over the shoulder and copy A, B, C.
Listen, we've all done it. Whatever. We've either been the Scantron original or the Scantron looky C.
Copier.
Yeah. I was the looky C, if you were wondering.
And so Sam makes the joke all the time, like, the only reason I graduated high school is because of Keever. Like,
believe it.
That's funny. Okay. But she tells me yesterday, she's like, I always knew you were a nerd, like book smart. But she's like, I never realized you were a nerd, like Star Wars, video games. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm like nerdy.
Yeah.
And so it was really fun because we started sitting there going back and forth about the things that, like, we're very similar in our values and the way we look at this world and what we desire for our lives and how we talk about things. But then our interests are so different. But we love that about our friendship. So it was really cool to be able to, like, chitty chat on all that.
I love that. Okay, so we got here because, first of all, I appreciate that so much. And I also feel
in the relationship.
I feel the same way about your and my friendship. Like, we are really different in those ways, even despite it's all like, it all fits together and all makes sense. And it's why we are like a beautiful dynamic, because you offer things that I could never offer. And maybe that's true vice versa. But
obviously,
but your interests are so different from mine. So
I'm a weirdo. And I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, because it's like, I love to, like, let's go out and get cute and, like, have fun, doing shopping and getting cute. I can do that. But then I'm also like, I just want to go play video games and eat really good food and watch documentaries. But then let's get cute and go to the spa. Like, I'm just weird.
You're all over the map.
I'm all over the map.
Yeah. You like it. I love it. So.
Okay, great. We're done. But my point in that is just like how like that complementary relationship is such a thing. It's really cool.
I think for Zach, I think that, like, he probably would need someone who, this is purely a prediction based off of not very much, but he would probably need someone who is able to be a little bit fun, bring him out of his shell, maybe not be a total polar opposite, but be able to get vulnerable with him, because I think that that's what he was missing with Rachel. I think what we know about Zach is that the bit of the backstory that we've learned from him being on The Bachelorette was he's had a series of long-term relationships. So he's definitely a relationship boyfriend type of guy. He also struggled with body image. He used to be much heavier than he is now. He's lost a lot of weight. So there's a bit of a readjustment to a new body. And he didn't mention this, but what I imagine is a different way in which the world responds to him in a different body.
That can be really, I didn't know that about his story. And that's kind of what I want to focus on, is like, that's a huge shift.
Yeah.
Growing up in Orange County, being, looking a certain way that society might not deem as, quote, attractive enough.
Right.
Bullshit.
Right.
To then having this complete 180, you're on a international, like, known franchise of a show that quite literally is women throwing themselves at you. And
you have to fit a very specific aesthetic build to even be qualified to be on it. You know what I mean?
I wonder how that's impacting him emotionally, and like where he's at intellectually with that all, like how
I think what we saw, I think that, like, I think if we think that he's super white bread and that there's really nothing going on, which of course isn't true, he's an individual. And if we knew more about him, we would know more but I think that the staleness that we may feel as an audience is probably likely due to whatever guards he has up in this environment. It's not a super conducive environment to really be vulnerable with the people that you're trying to court or be courted by. So I think for him, it would bode well to have a match that injects a little fiesta into his life. And if you got to see his hometowns, his family is very warm, very inviting, but also a bit lively. Not in a too much kind of way, but they've got humor. They're very connected with one another. So it's probably going to be pretty important for him to find someone that they don't have to come from it, but they do have to value it because they're all very close, and to feel like there's safety and vulnerability with this person.
Yeah, that's huge. I did see Hometowns and I don't remember his at all. So that just goes to show.
Yeah. I'll tell you how he left.
Okay.
How he left was he made it all the way to Fantasy Suites. He was like he was in Rachel's last three. So it was Tino, Avon's town in Connecticut. And Zach. I almost called
Scott. Zach.
No, this time I almost called him Justin.
Oh, Jesus. Next time it's going to be Sean. Generic white boy names.
Literally. Oh, okay. So she has Fantasy Suites with Zach. And basically their last date felt like everything was moving and grooving. Like intimacy was high. Passion was kind of high. Romance was kind of high. And then cut to, we see them the morning after their fantasy suite. And it's very clear that she's gotten the ick.
Oh my God. I kind of want to watch this back.
Oh my God. It's actually, it's so relatable. It's scary on all sides.
Okay. Tell me. I'm like on the edge of my seat.
Yeah. I don't remember all the details, but I do remember I remember the feelings, which is like the next morning, they both were making comments about it being off. And then the conversation that they're actually having together is like quite literally about the weather. And they just sort of were talking about how, like, you know, we the things that we talked about last night, like we're going to have to keep that in mind. That's going to have to take an interest. What we learn later is about those conversations is that Rachel says, like, it's your age. He's 26. And she was like 28 or 29.
I remember this. Okay.
She's like, it's your age. Like, I don't feel, and what it felt like to me, because I've done this and I'm not proud of this, but it's like, you get the ick. Something happened.
You're looking for an excuse.
And you're looking for a fucking excuse. And so you tell them, it's your age. Scary. You're so much younger than me. That has never been relevant. And this person has only been talking about how, like, serious he feels about relationships and how much he wants to settle down. And I would love to, like, get married and have children and the whole thing. And she just cuts to it being her age. And then something ended up happening. Oh, yeah. Tensions were weird. They get to the rose ceremony where it's the three of them. And, before Rachel gives out her roses, which we think that she probably wouldn't have given Zach a rose anyway. But before she even doles out any roses, she's like, can I talk to you he said, can I talk to you really quickly? And then they go talk. And then, like, he's just kind of like, where's the disconnect here? I'm having a hard time understanding what was going on. What is the issue? Like,
see, to me, that makes him attractive. Like, I'm like, yes, like, don't. Oh my God. So
Agreed.
Good.
He really was kind of left in the dark. He didn't know. And I don't know, even with the reunion, I don't know if we really learned exactly, like,
what it was,
what her real feeling. I just don't really believe her. And it's not her fault. I
Me
think
neither.
She's in an impossible position to be in. And as a woman, you just are so inundated with thoughts of, like, how am I being perceived? And we already live that way without being on a television show. So I'm just sure that was, like, through the roof. Zach makes a comment in these final episodes where he's like, I felt like she turned into this version of herself, trying to be the version of a bachelorette that she thought she needed to be instead of a person I was connecting with.
And I can see that too. Yeah. With Rachel, especially.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, he sounds emotionally intelligent just based off those two instances that I heard.
Yes, I agree with you. And can I tell you what I'm worried about?
Yeah, tell me. Obviously, this is what we need.
I know, it's what we need.
What are you worried about?
I'm worried that he will find himself in kind of a similar position in which he's filling a role as a bachelor, because like even there was the like IRL teaser from the reunion episodes of him like meeting 5 girls that were going to be there. And it was so awkward. It was so uncomfortable. And he was obviously put on the spot. And again, I don't think many people would have like dealt with that situation really well unless they were like a skilled narcissist, like someone who could really like play up that experience. And he obviously was very nervous and didn't know what to do. I am nervous that he's not going to just like show up authentically as himself in the process. And I think that he's going to just like try to be a fair and good bachelor, which is kind of where Clayton got stuck in a mess on his season as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, okay, so I'll be honest, like younger 24-year-old Alex who watched this show religiously and like loved it. Yeah. Used to think that the person, the bachelor or the bachelorette, had it so easy. Like you just get to sit there and be desired and take your pick, literally. Yeah. But the more I watch this show and the more that I learn about emotions and people and all the things, it's such a slippery slope because now you're the one rejecting everybody and no one. Tell me who likes hurting someone's feelings. Like none of us like hurting, you know, if you're a healthy individual, you do not enjoy hurting other people, rejecting other people because you're empathetic and you're like, I know how that feels and I'm going to make you feel that way right now, telling you that I'm not giving you a rose.
Yeah.
And so I do think that it comes, especially with the last 3, like when it gets to be that close to the end, you're literally now in relationships with this little small group of people. You've most likely had sex with them now after fantasy suites.
Yeah, right.
And low key, you probably already have a ranking about who's like, because you've spent a good amount of time. And now you have to tell these people after sleeping with them who's going to make it and who's not. That's a really shitty situation to be in too. So I get looking for an excuse instead of being really raw and vulnerable and being like, I just connect better. Because sometimes that's all it is. Like maybe it's hard to articulate why someone's a better choice for them. And you can't really articulate it. It's not because they bring me coffee in the morning or they don't have a tattoo on their butt from a drunken night out. Or like, it might not even be anything like that. It might literally just be like, I connect with them a little bit more, or I'm a little bit more attracted to them. Like, so I feel for these people as they go, like everyone involved, the people dating, because you're just anxious the entire time. Like, am I going to make it? Am I not? What do they think of me? Do I like them more than me? You're comparing what you're experiencing with what other people are experiencing. And then if you're the actual person making the calls, you're trying to decide, you're in between a rock and a hard place. You're like, okay, I'm going to hurt you now or hurt you later. Like,
honestly, while it's entertaining to watch, not conducive to an actual meaningful, sustained relationship. And that's the other thing, is that like this show, I understand that there are people that are still together from this show, but the track record ain't good. The numbers are telling a very different story. So my thing is like, I think however they handle this whole process, it's going to be what it is. The only factors that are going to matter in does Zach and the person he chooses have a successful chance at a relationship long-term after this is, can you deal? Because he's going to make connect. I mean, the dates are so romantic. We know how this goes. You go on the one-on-ones, you really get to know each other. You get vulnerable. It breeds intimacy. It fosters a connection. You start to catch feelings, physical, sexual tension builds, so on and so forth. Like, he's going to find himself in love, and women are going to find themselves in love with him. And the only thing, like, that will happen, but the only thing that's actually going to lend itself to Zach and his chosen partner to maybe really get married, or at least have like a successful, a successful relationship, will be if they can handle what happens afterwards, after the show wraps. That's where all of these couples really struggle.
Fall apart.
That's when they fall apart.
Yeah. Because it's hard keeping a relationship secret and doing these meetings. And then you're still not even living in real life.
No.
Like,
you
can't
don't really
live in real life till after the final rose. And then by then you've already been under wraps for 3 or 4 months, which can cause enough stress on a relationship. By that time you're like, I don't like you anymore.
Right. And the transition from the reality in which you fell in love, like those circumstances.
Oh my God.
To a totally different set of circumstances where it's a bit more of real life, but also like, it's like you're in purgatory. You're in purgatory during that time.
You're in purgatory, and you're not in Italy purgatory anymore.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
in a bunker in LA. Like,
literally.
I mean, it's a nice bunker, but still.
What do they call them? Like happy homes, something creepy like
happy
that.
Couple weekends or something.
Yeah, it's something fucking. It's to me, it's like creepy. But I get why they like have to. I just wish they called them something else. Like they're literally like a nice bunkers. And in addition to that, once the show rolls out, they turn into celebrities. And our relationship with celebrities, which like most people from any part of the world or our country can become a celebrity through like social media. Like we have this weird direct access. We have this vehicle to express every unfiltered thought and opinion.
I know.
And then the couple has to deal with that. And I can bet you your bottom dollar that the next time I am in a committed relationship with someone, I'm only going to be exposed to the opinions of like 10 people max.
I know.
And those people are probably not even going to tell me how they feel.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, she's doing her. We'll see how this goes.
Oh my God. It's wild. Internet trolls are the worst, but it can really tear you down if you're not.
Well, and you're not used to it. And who would be used to it? They were just,
I know.
They were just like people when they signed up.
Yeah. It's wild. Like it's wild, and it can really fuck with you, and it does fuck with you. And so, but I think like the healthiest, like if I was going to say, if ABC called me up and gave a shit about what's your opinion on how we can help like up our success rate of these couples staying together, I'd be like, get them a couples therapist to join them on their couple weekends as they're hiding their relationship, and they should be doing like VIP sessions. Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
you know what? That is so smart. It doesn't actually require ABC to change anything about the formula of their show, because they cling to that formula like the Holy Christ itself. Like they are so
more than the Pope clings to the.
Oh my God!
I don't know, whatever the Pope clings to.
The way in which, Lord, if I know, the way in which ABC clings to these really prehistoric like values and representations of like relationships, modern relationships, and how it does not at all reflect the rest of the world, what we look like, how we experience life, and how we relate to one another. Like it's so far behind from the human experience that like they're not ever going to change any of this stuff. But what they could do is at least help the fucking couples afterwards and behind closed doors. Like let them work, contract a therapist, have that therapist work with them. They make a very specific like 16-week treatment plan and send them on their fucking way. Yeah.
Yeah. Because think about it. Like a lot of what happens, I mean, aside from the cases with like Alabama Hannah and Jed, did you hear about that whole thing?
No.
No.
Alabama,
Hannah Brown, her season.
Okay.
Yeah. She, her guy that she chose apparently like had a girlfriend the whole time, and they got engaged, and and she found out about it after, and started questioning him, and it was weird. And so they broke up. Now what's even weirder is they broke up, and then Jed went off and dated this girl that he basically left Hannah Brown for. Then this same girl ends up marrying Hannah's brother.
Yeah.
So so now Hannah is like sisters-in-law with her ex-fiance's ex. Yeah.
Oh,
it's wild. It's wild.
It sounds kind of creepy that this girl is like sort of made her way
into Hannah's life. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. I don't care if they're happy. It's not, I'm like, whatever. But my point here is like, aside from cases like that are like really weird, I think the biggest breakdown that happens for these couples is a lack of emotional intelligence and how to communicate their needs during this pivotal time in their relationship.
Facts.
Like, I really believe. And so it's like, if they had support during their weekends together and they could do like 2.5, 3 hour session. I know that's a lot for the practitioner, but it's like, that's what they're going to need, just like couple inflated sessions. Yeah. To sort it out, to navigate through it all, and then let the couple have a weekend still to like engage and be together outside of the construct of like a meeting, a session. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. I think it would be really beneficial to them because right now what they're doing clearly isn't working. So if you really want to up your success rate, ABC, do something different.
Yes. Yes. I agree. Wow.
Because it's heart-wrenching. Fuck. I can't imagine doing that.
Yeah. Me neither.
Yeah.
I got distracted by a thought. Do you want to know
Tell me your
it?
thought.
Okay.
Of course I want to know your thoughts.
Okay, thank you.
What's up?
So there was recent information that came out that SK has cheated on Raven. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. What?
Yeah.
Our Nigerian king?
I know. I haven't like listened to all of
Is it true?
Yeah.
Or is it a rumor?
No, it's true. Apparently there's like there's some legal activity going on. I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
I'm going to drive up to Berkeley right now.
Yeah.
And kick some Nigerian ass. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Just have like a strongly worded email.
What the fuck? Yeah, a strongly worded email. A strongly worded DM.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, that breaks my heart.
I know.
That makes me really sad.
We were talking about like, it seemed like you and I were just talking about like Bachelor off-season drama. And then I just remembered about the Love is Blind off-season drama.
Well, that's heartbreaking.
I know. You know what? Maybe we will actually learn more about it. They're due to like, they did a follow-up episode of the last season, which I know you didn't watch, so maybe this isn't relevant to you right now, but they'll likely do like some sort of follow-up after the Love is Blind.
Like what happened?
Yeah, what happened afterwards. Catch up with Alexa and Brennan and shit like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm like really upset right now.
Yeah, I know. Sorry to do that.
I wouldn't have, that's okay. I'm here for it. I wouldn't have taken him for that type.
Me neither.
I want to know more. I want to know more before I cast judgment. Obviously, it's never good to judge, but like, I also want to understand what the fuck was happening. Before
I'm curious too. Obviously, we don't know anything about the situation and what could have possibly happened. We just hear cheating and like our minds go to dark corners, right?
You're a scumbag. Yeah.
Right. But I agree with you that it sounds surprising considering his general like awareness of respect and communication and like,
I know,
not wanting to do someone dirty. Like he's a pretty thoughtful person. So it was surprising.
So surprising. That's why I'm like, what's the context? What's the real situation? Has Raven responded at all? Have you lurked her to see?
No, I haven't looked at their Instagram accounts. And I think if there's anything, there was like some sort of a statement that was like,
We are parting ways with love and respect.
Not even like
Bullshit.
there's legal stuff going on and we actually can't talk about anything. So,
okay, cool.
Yeah. So,
legal stuff going on. I feel like that's huge.
There's
that's
like
wild.
A lawsuit. Yeah, I don't know who's suing whom. I don't know.
Or for what? Because you can't sue someone for cheating, especially if you ain't married.
But
yet.
I think the other person other person's involved in this lawsuit.
Oh shit!
Yeah, like I think it's like a defamation. Listen, bitches.
Oh, defamation.
Defamation.
Wow, that would make sense though.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm like. My mind is still processing. I'm just like, what? We just saw them. But I mean, I know that was filmed forever ago because we recapped it late. But I'm also just like coming off that high. And I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Wow.
I think let's transition to what are we ditching?
What are we ditching? Wow. We're ditching these dumbass dating rules of when I can and can't text you back. I'll text you back when I feel like texting you back. And I'm not maliciously holding out for any period of time to stoke anxiety in the other person. 100%. I'm not doing that. I haven't done that in years, but I'm just announcing like we all need to ditch that. We need to ditch that.
I
collectively
absolutely co-sign that.
Okay, great. Signed, sealed, delivered, bitch.
What am I ditching? I want to ditch so much.
I know.
I think in response to that, like I want to ditch the pressure to feel like I need to show up as anything other than just like who I am. In these dating situations, and even as we navigate like trying to make new friendships. I can see myself stepping into performative roles of my own to like foster and facilitate relationships when really like authenticity is key. Being caring is key. Risk being too much. Tell someone that you just met, like, hey, it was really cool to meet you. Would love to like keep hanging out. Even if that inner child is like, oh, wow, like, but what if they reject me? Or, oh, wow, what if they leave me out? Like, oh, wow, what if I never hear from them again? But I also want to ditch, I guess this is interesting because it's a bit hypocritical for me considering how we started this episode. Because I was like, Zach is not memorable. I can't even remember his name. But I think what we need to do as we head into this Bachelor season, while everyone has lots of mixed feelings about it, because I think a lot of people would really like they're petitioning. They really want Rodney to be the Bachelor, which I think he would be a great fit.
Me too.
And other people, Rodney. Especially other people that are not white, like, and I'm here for it. We have Zach. He is our Bachelor. So let's head into this Bachelor season with an open mind and an open heart to like, see if we get an opportunity to actually get to know who this person is behind his layers. Because what I always believe through and through from the day I was born to the day I will perish is that the closer that you get to know someone, the more there is to learn about who they are, why they are. And we can build so much compassion from learning more about someone's background. And that doesn't mean that you are owed everyone's background, but you should hold your judgment until you learn what the fuck has gone on for them.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm doing with SK. I'm like, let me learn more before I decide that you're an asshole. Preach. Yeah. There's so sorry. This is just, I know we're wrapping, but I have a thought about SK.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm curious. I don't know anything about this situation at all, but what comes to mind is SK's father was polyamorous.
Yeah.
And I know that he originally claimed he didn't want that.
He was
polygamous. Thank you. Thank you for the right word. He was polygamous. And so, I'm curious to know if SK in this whole situation, now that he's trying to if he's like, maybe I am polyamorous, maybe not polygamous, but maybe he is. I don't know. My mind goes to like, where did they learn that from? What did he see?
The modeling.
Yeah,
however,
exactly.
The modeling, at least what we understand on paper, the modeling, like polygamy in whatever respect that it could be problematic, aside, polygamy at least is done with
ethical.
Yeah,
knowing.
everyone knows what's going on. So and in polyamory, same thing. Everything.
Yeah.
This is, baby girl. This is cheating.
Raven did not know. Raven did not know.
That's what we understand so far. Yeah, I know.
Really disappointed.
I know.
I also haven't had coffee today, and I think it's making it worse. Okay, so we went over what we're ditching. And
that's what we're bringing on is, listen, honesty. Let's be honest. Listen, this is a word to leave people with. If you like the idea of being with other people, that's amazing. You start being honest with yourself about that. So if you're going to be in relationship with others, like you can go into that with like I don't even know if that has anything to do with SK's like experience.
Me neither, but it's
just in general. Yeah. Like strumming and shrimp.
This is important. She hit a gong.
I know. I really just mean that like society's not going to love the idea of different types of ethical non-monogamous situations or different types of open relationships. But if you need to figure out what works for you, explore what that might be, talk to your partner.
Totally. Yeah.
Make it ethical, make it consensual, and move forward and prosper.
Sounds good.
Peace.
Farewell and prosper, bitch.
Farewell.
If you like this episode, and then say it. We're doing the Spock sign if you watch us. Yeah. Prosper. Okay. Or is it live long and prosper? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to do the sign-offy part.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Okay.
Star Trek's the one thing. I mean, I like Star Trek, but I haven't watched enough of it to quote it. Okay, moving on with our lives. If you like this smorgasbord of an episode, let us know by leaving a rating and a review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Feel free to screenshot it and share it to your IG story. Tag us in it at Ditch the Script Pod on IG and TikTok, and we will shave it with you, meaning share, not shave. If you have questions you want us to answer, head to our website, ditchthescriptpod.com. And if you'd like to apply for a free 30-minute mini session with yours truly, both Brianna and myself, ditchthescriptpod.com/podcast is where you'll find the application for that. All right. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Yeah. Live, love, laugh, you know?
Live, love, laugh. Good vibes. Bye.
Oh, God.